everybody, welcome inside the UPMC Rooney Sports Complex and to this very special edition of Steelers Live. I'm Missi Matthews, joined today by Bob Labriola and our special guest, as always, at the end of the season, Steelers President Art Rooney II. Art, thanks for your time today. We really appreciate it.
Great to be with you.
All right, we'll jump right into it. How do you evaluate the 2008 season, especially not making the postseason the first time for the Steelers since 2013?
Yeah, it was a tough way to end the season. Felt like we had a chance, and really, came down to just a few plays here and there in this season, literally at the end there. And so, disappointing that we didn't make it. Felt like we had a team, particularly the last 3 weeks of the season, playing well, and played with some of the playoff teams and played well against them. So it's disappointing. I think the two things that, if I had to pick out a couple of things that were a problem, one was our kicking game was below average and below where we expected it to be, and then secondly, the minus turnover ratio. I mean, that's always a problem. You can't be on the wrong side of that. So a lot of things to work on this off season, but that was disappointing that we didn't make it.
When fans look at a season and evaluate it, it seems that they choose one of two paths. The players either aren't good enough or the coach isn't good enough, and sometimes it's a combination of both. Do you do that, and how would you evaluate those two specific areas?
Well, I think that when you don't make the playoffs, nobody's absolved. You just have to say that players, coaches, staff, front office, everybody's got to do a better job, and that's the way I feel. And look, I think we have the core group of players that can get us back to where we want to be, and look forward to working on this off season and trying to get the pieces back in place.
Coach Tomlin's performance, how do you evaluate that?
Like I said, I think everybody left room for improvement, and when you don't make the playoffs, you look at everything and everyone, and Coach and I have talked about a number of different things, and Kevin the same way. So we have work to do, but I think we still have a lot we can build on that. Feel good about it, going into the off season with it.
One of the changes to the coaching staff involves the addition of Terrell Austin, a former Pitt player, next door here for some time. He's been a defensive coordinator in the league. What do you see him contributing? What might his role be as I think his title is defensive assistant or special assistant?
Yeah. I mean, I think Coach Austin is going to come in and be able to contribute, particularly to the pass defense side of our defense. As you said, he's got experience as a coordinator, and a lot of good experience around the league now, and I think that Coach Tomlin was excited about seeing him join our staff, so we're glad we have him.
What do you see in Shawn Surratt, somebody who is replacing Mike Munchak but has been around the team for a number of years?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we were disappointed to lose Munch, but certainly understand the family circumstances, and great that we have somebody like Shawn on board ready to step up. Shawn was probably going to get an opportunity sooner or later somewhere, and so we're glad it's here. And he's been mentoring with Munch for a number of years now, so I think he's comfortable in the room and knows the guys, and the guys know him, and so. We think he'll be able to step up and do the job.
Last year at this time, when the topic was a possible extension for Ben Roethlisberger, you mentioned that you really hadn't been in this position before, talking about an extension for a player who was in his mid-30s. We're here now. Ben had a 5,000-yard season. How do you see that progressing? I mean, what do you think the outcome of that is going to be?
Well, we intend to discuss a contract extension with Ben and his representatives. Certainly thought Ben had a strong year, physically and mentally. I think he's in a good place. And, as you look around the league and see guys playing into their 40s at the quarterback position, no reason to think Ben can't be one of those guys.
In terms of the Antonio Brown situation, have you or anybody in the organization that you know of been in contact with him? And if so, if not, where do you guys kind of go from here?
Yeah, well, it's disappointing that haven't had any contact with Antonio, and would have liked to have been able to talk with him and understand a little better from his perspective what went on there the last week of the season, and so now we've just got to evaluate things based on kind of what we know, and all the options are on the table. Really, not much we can or will do for a couple months now until the new league year starts. So. We'll just evaluate things and keep our options open.
One of the issues fans are very interested in is Ryan Shazier's immediate future. The final year of his contract was this season, 2018. He has said that he is still interested in maybe trying to get back onto the field. What would his role be here in 2019, and how would you have to handle that role in terms of bookkeeping and in terms of the CBA?
Well, Ryan's intention is to continue to rehab with the goal of being back on the field as a football player, and so that's the approach we have. We're going to continue to work with him and figure out how that works, and figure out the contract situation, how that'll work. But he's just continues to be a impressive young man who, making progress beyond what anybody predicted he would make. He was jogging in the workout room the other day, so he's, I wouldn't underestimate him, that's for sure. And we're excited to continue to work with him, and hopefully someday he'll realize his goal.
In terms of Le'Veon Bell, where do things stand right now? Is it, again, that all options are on the table with him?
Yeah, I think Le'Veon's obviously in a different situation than Antonio, in that he doesn't have a contract. So the options are a little different in that situation, and so we've got a decision to make. Probably have some discussions with his representative here in the next few weeks and kind of talk through that.
The Steelers are extremely popular south of the border. Get a lot of questions from fans in Mexico when the team might be going down there. The last trip to Mexico City was in 2000 for that preseason game against the Colts. You hear anything? You know anything? Anything you want to reveal about a trip?
All I can tell you is we keep volunteering to make the trip, and would love to go down there sometime. But as you say, we have a great fan following down there in Mexico, and so we're anxious to get down there sometime, but haven't heard anything in terms of us playing a game down there in 2019.
Would that be something that Roger Goodell might announce at his Super Bowl press conference the Friday before the game?
Normally, the international games are announced around the Super Bowl, so I assume that that's probably the time frame for it.
All right, Art, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Great to be with you. Thank you.
All right, for our Steelers Nation Unite members, our keyword today is an easy one. It is Steelers, so you can head to SteelersNationUnite.com, enter the keyword Steelers. It is good until the end of today to earn your extra yards for joining us today on Steelers Live. That is going to do it for us. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great night. We'll see you guys next time.